in really beautiful ways. And music helped me find a place in the world. And I think it might have done that for Ed too. But tonight it's brought us to this beautiful place in Benaroya Hall. And I couldn't be more proud to bring out my friend and a grand friend of music, Ed Vedder. What a thrill.
I wasn't expecting this feeling that I have right now. Well, that is that I feel 16 and that you're Greg Allman on drugs. Nervous. On behalf of everybody in Seattle, let me thank you, Cameron, for coming here. Your absence would have been conspicuous. We feel a connection to you as well. There may have even been a revolt, or at least a peaceful protest. That's how we do it.
I thank you.
Let me just say, when the book came out a few weeks ago, we were in Boston. I was doing a little something. There was some crew folks with me traveling. We went and got 3, 4, 5 copies of the book, passed them out to the crew. I told them it was required reading and that they would be tested. And I also told them, you will thank me later, which they did. One crew guy in particular, my main right-hand man, Simon, Irish cat who also works with Glenn Hansard, he said, the next time you see your friend Cameron, tell him there's one fucking problem with the book. That's what I'm telling you now. The thing is that every page has at least one paragraph of something that absolutely blows your fucking mind. And what I want is 5 pages of just that one paragraph, 5 more pages. So you tell him his book needs to be longer.
You tell Simon, and still is. We still recap about all this stuff. One thing I want to say about Neil is that he's the best live rock concert or music photographer because he's somehow plugged into the energy of the bands, The Who especially. And he gets right in there and he manages to get these moments that you can only get if you know what's important as a fan. Sometimes he gets too close. And there was one time where Roger Daltrey was whipping the mic and like kept whipping it by his head to like, Neil, step back. And that's like, you know, that's a recap. And the bands would know it, you know. Bruce, he did a lot of work with Bruce, and they know when they see it, like this is not just a photo of me, the celebrity, this is a photo of the music happening. And that's Neil.
Neil Preston.
Yeah, baby.
Do you know Neil?
You'll enjoy the recap of that moment later tonight.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Well, and also the recap as you're, you know, and you're writing, and you've got notes, and your notes are, I'm just guessing, tent poles. And then that recap, and having it be so close to the moment, then you're able to flesh things out like immediately. Because did he get any writing credit for any of this?
Should have. The notes are everything though, like particularly the notes that you know, you don't want to take your notepad out and just like destroy the moment and let someone know that you're documenting it or something. It's just strange. So you run off someplace and make a note that you remember later, and I kept everything. So some of them are really revealing, the notes, like from being at a session with David Bowie when he was doing the Station to Station album. There were amazing notes that were about the colors that he would make sure, like when you walked into the studio to meet him, he wasn't just like making tea or having a burrito. He's on a stool with like yellow red hair, a blue cap, a perfect suit, moving into a red spotlight, and he looks up and says hello. And you're like, okay, that's David Bowie. No mistake there. And so like you make notes about all that stuff that you remember later, and then there's stuff that you don't know why you wrote it. Like I came across notes like, suddenly everybody everywhere loves Fleetwood Mac. Like, okay. I guess that was a passionate thought for you at one point, and true. But the notes are everything, and I know you are a man who keeps things. You keep, and Jeff from the band is the same way. Like you keep the things that the spirit kind of still exists in the artifacts that you're able to keep close, and I love that.
I'm auctioning up half of it off next year for charity.
Okay, good.
Now this summer, there was a couple to Rolling Stone. Joni Mitchell did not want to talk to Rolling Stone. Jimmy Page, hell no, not talking to Rolling Stone. But these were, again, going, in such a way, to earn not just youth, but authenticity, earning their respect. And as you mentioned, Bowie said, you were young enough to be trusted. But with things like Jimmy Page and Joni, that's, and now you finally get this interview with Zeppelin, everybody except for Jimmy. But not only do you get the interview, but you get credits in English Lit class for covering Zeppelin Tour 1975.
Supposed to be getting ready to go to college and everything, but the teacher that gave me the credit for the Led Zeppelin tour story also asked me if I could get him published in Rolling Stone. So I was able to take that back to my mom and just say, well, if my teacher is trying to get work from me, maybe I can do more of this touring with rock band stuff for a while longer. And I did.
Another teacher you worked your magic with was a guy who fortunately really liked Chris Christopherson. When you asked the principal of the high school, can I attend your school for a year undercover as a senior and then write a book about it? And he was really having none of it, or he was very understandably so skeptical. You mentioned, he said, you know Chris Christopherson.
Am I right? The fact that I'd written about Chris Christopherson suddenly opened all the doors for me to spend that time in high school and write Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
And one part about that story that I like is that you said every once in a while you'd see him in the hallway and kind of nod, like, you'd be like, how's it going? Or, you'd keep a low. You said by the end of the first semester, he didn't even recognize you from whatever. You've just so blended in.
He forgot. But there was this moment, I think it was like prom or something, towards the end of the year. where he was sitting at a table with some of the other teachers, and it kind of came back to him, and he's looking at me like, "Are you gonna get me fired? Does this go to a very bad place?" But no, he when Fast Times came out, there was a thing that was like sweeping some of the comments. It's like, we gotta find this school where like kids run wild, and now it's like you try real hard to find a school like that. It was gentle and kind of, you know, a winning atmosphere around that school, and no metal detectors. You know, it was a time not so long ago.
So as I was, this summer, as I was getting to about page 2, I had about a quarter, 2/3 of an inch left. I started to get nervous, panic, started reading slower. I didn't want it to end. And then I realized, as I'm reading about
Cameron, hey, it's Mike. Ready?
Mike!
Hey, one question. Who do you like to interview better? The lead singer of the band or the lead guitar player?
Do I have to choose?
That's an easy one. Obviously the guitar player. That one in particular.
And the drum. Amazing question. I go with that too.
Book. Thank you for these words, these stories, these emotions, these reminders, these blessings, and sharing your blessings, and reminding us that there are no such thing as missed opportunities, although I don't feel like you've ever missed an opportunity. But whatever happened, I'm so glad you ended up here 35 years ago. I'm so glad you ended up here today. I'm so glad you're part of our lives. I feel very lucky to have you part of my family's lives. Alice Crowe, she said, put some goodness into the world before it blows up. Thank you, Cameron Crowe. Thank you.